Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Wonder 8's Wednesday. This is when the Mighty Mamas get together. I have some tips and things to help you that is going to increase your choosing a little better every single day as we implement them. So I'm curious, how is everybody doing? Are you holding on to your 3 for me? Because I've got another 3 for me today for you. And if you didn't get to rewatch that episode or you're just joining us, welcome, welcome. Oh, pardon me. 3 for me is 3 words that we wanted to embody and that we hope to bring and show up as. And then when we have ourselves feeling kind of down in the muck or icky, or we catch ourselves doing something we really don't want to, we pull those 3 words. We have them on sticky notes on our mirrors. We pull those 3 words and we remind ourselves how we want to show up. And if you remember, the first 2 were that ideal self feeling of how you want to show up, and the last one was how you would show up as a role model for someone else. And specifically, I like to think of for my son, how will I show up for my son? So my 3 words are vibrant, influential, and dependable. And I really want to be dependable and focused for my son and just be that consistent parent and guide for him. And I hope to be dependable for you as well as vibrant and influential, so we can choose a little better every day together. So today what I have for you is foundational beginnings. And I want to just go through the bamboo story. Has anybody ever heard of bamboo and how it grows? It's pretty amazing and inspirational, if you ask me. So bamboo, first you have to find good soil. It needs to be planted in good soil. Then you plant the seed and you have to nurture and water that seed for 5 years. 5 years, you will see no growth above the ground. And then in a 6-week period, it grows to 90 feet tall. That is just mind baffling to me. There's also a lot of other really neat things with bamboo. It's super strong and yet it's flexible. And so for me, that's one of the first things I learned on this growth journey was being able to be flexible. So I think there's so many things we can pull from the bamboo. And from the bamboo, even though you don't see growth for those first 5 years, it's not that growth isn't happening. The growth is actually all happening underground, and it's really putting in the work on getting that foundational root system. And it needs a super strong root system underground so that when it goes through that 6-week shoot up to 90 feet, it has the foundation to hold it. Otherwise, it would start going and it would fall over, and then it wouldn't keep growing. So I will pull up our screen for us and we'll get us moving. Okay, so we're going to channel our inner bamboo this week. As I shared, foundational beginnings, the bamboo principle is for 5 years, there's no evidence of growth, even though growth is happening underground. And then in 6 weeks, bamboo plants can grow up to 90 feet tall. So the 5 years of the underground growth really is needed to create that solid foundation and to sustain our massive growth. And so for us, when we're looking at our healthy lives, what is our healthy foundations? What is the foundation of being healthy? So for me, the first thing I know we talk about so much is the desire for more and the comprehension. I really think that part of the foundation is the comprehension that we can have a more enjoyable and thriving life when we are healthier. If we're sick and we need to make appointments and we need to, take care of ourselves, if we don't have the energy, that really negatively affects all our interactions across the board, from our work to our relationships to our children, and especially to ourselves. So for me, the foundation really is the comprehension that this is worth it and why it is worth it. And that's why when we first talked about looking for happy and looking for those things that we want in our lives, we need to have that first. We need to know what we want, what is a healthy foundation. And then we need to look at the things in our lives like our sleep, our water, our veggie, our fruit intake, our movement. Are we standing up once an hour or more every day? Are we getting our functional movement in? Are we taking action? Are we having some healthy food in the fridge ready for us that we can grab? What are those things that we can do together? So that's part of what we're going to be brainstorming in our session on our own, so we can really go through those healthy foundations that will help us. And so we're going to brainstorm some mini actions, and we want to kind of like pull those three for me: that vibrant, influential, dependable self, or those words that you picked for yourself. And we're thinking like, what can we add to the start and end of our day? Because for me, the foundation is what happens when we first wake up, and how are we unwinding and preparing for sleep? Because I really do feel that when we have that end of the day, like whatever is on our minds, whatever is going through our self, what we're reflecting on from the day is going to keep going subconsciously. Whether it turns into a dream or whether it's just something that's imprinting on us is really going to determine how we wake up and how well we sleep, I believe. So when we're looking at the morning, for me, we talked about those spoon pat activations a couple weeks ago. So hopefully you've been implementing those. We talk about having like dance parties before Joseph heads out to school, and even a dance party for yourself before you go wake them up. I mean, I'd love to hear if anybody has like a unique way they wake up their kids that works really well. I've had some moms put on loud music. I've had others go in and tickle them. I don't know what would be the best way to wake me up. Maybe a hug. Come hug me and wake me up that way. Having our intentional movement, getting our exercise done, and starting to fuel ourselves. And then at the end of the day, taking some pause, taking that time to reflect on what went well for the day. What did happen? You know, remember we talked about that Velcro versus the nonstick frying pan? We want to start holding on to those things that are in the frying pan, those positive, wonderful things that happen during the day. We want to celebrate those, and we want to find those, look for those, and think about those at the end of the day. If we have a laundry list of things to do that's growing, that may be the laundry. Maybe you forgot to put it in the dryer or take it out of the dryer. You know, write them down. Write them down. On give yourself some free journaling time the last few minutes before you head up to bed. Maybe getting into a meditation or a prayer or a stretching at the end of the day to really help you unwind and feel good about going and releasing. I know for me, I don't want to go to sleep. I often talk about I have to parent myself and make myself go to sleep. And if I'm honest, that's something that I've really been working through again. I was up until about 1 o'clock last night. I was just so excited about the things that I was working on, and I wasn't paying attention. And so I'm going to have to go back to what worked well for me, was setting an alarm, a bedtime alarm, because the bedtime notifier is just is not doing it as the alarm did. And I'm not catching that it is time to go to bed, and I'm just really in the work and the conversations, and that doesn't feel so great in the morning, right? So catching those things and then setting yourself up. So I'm going to be going back to what worked well, like I said, was a bedtime alarm. That worked for me. So I can't wait to talk about and see what works for you. Now, something that we talked about in my Better Together event that I want to revisit, and this is, maybe you didn't get a chance to do it when we first met, or maybe you didn't get to be a part of that program, but we want to start with hide and seek. And so why don't we know we're going to be embracing more veggies, more fruit, more water. Why don't we take those things that maybe someone in our house feels are a necessity? Like for me, my husband needs these different sodas in the house, and he has some different granolas, and I think that's like a caramel sauce or something, and Tostitos cheese. Like he really needs those things. So I only use the left side of the cabinet, and that's where I put my vitamin shakes. I put my coconut oil and any of my healthy supplements I use, and I put my proteins, like the tuna. That's where I store it. The chia seeds, the oats and things, all the things that I know I need, I'm going to reach for, I keep on the left-hand side. And I keep all that stuff of his on the right-hand side. So personally, I never need to go on the right-hand side of the cabinet. I'm not going to see it. It's going to be out of sight, out of mind. And it's very rare that I go and reach for those things. Same with the soda. we have, I think he usually has like maybe 3 a week, I think. I'm not really sure. I don't really track how much he drinks the soda, but it lasts for months just because Joseph and I don't think about it or ask for it if we don't see it. Now, if we see it, if we were to open the cabinet every day, then it starts to get in the back of your mind, right? And that's another reason why I talk about then putting the fruit on the front and center, put it in the middle of your counter in the kitchen, put it on the table. Same thing in your refrigerator. You want to bring those veggies and fruits that are cut and ready to go to the front of your refrigerator instead of those maybe takeout containers. Push those to the back, let them go to the back. Have the more productive foods in front for yourself. So that's something that you can set a foundation for yourself to have your kitchen set up for success, right? So if we haven't already, your mission this week is to set your kitchen for success by hiding the silly things and bringing forward the things that you want to consume more of. And then when it comes to, we kind of talked about this a little bit last week when we were talking about being committed to the process, is I love this. This I saw from the Chop Wood Carry Water book for like a new workout program I'm doing in my other business. And it really talks about that straight line up, which you've heard from me call the squiggle, that we think the journey needs to go successfully from bottom to top. We're going to go from 200 pounds to 100 pounds, and it's going to happen really quickly and straight down. There's not going to be any challenges. And I talk often about the squiggle, that we actually go through a squiggle journey. And what Chop Wood Carry Water went to extend and expand on just a little more is that how it actually works is you make a little progress and then you have like a plateau for a while, and it squiggles a little as those foundational things are getting stronger, as you're getting those systems in place that help you, as you're committed to show up here every week and you start to implement it and set reminders, as you start to look at your calendar for the week ahead every Sunday and commit to things that are going to help you, you'll start to see a little progress, and then you'll plateau for a while. And just because you're plateauing doesn't mean that nothing is happening. We can absolutely, schedule one-on-one and look at your food trackers or talk about the movement and the types of food you're eating. If you've been at a plateau for 30 days and you've been putting in the work that you think you should be making progress, we can look at that data you're collecting, and I bet we can make progress again. But just like the bamboo is growing underground, when you're in a plateau, things are still happening on a cellular level. Things are still happening on those small scales that you can't necessarily see, but it doesn't mean they're not happening. And so I just really love this reminder. So going off into our week, into our conversation together that we'll have next, is implementing and maintaining 3 for me. So we've got our 3 words for me. Now we're going to implement 3 things into our week. So if you didn't set your kitchen up for success yet by hiding the sillies and bringing forward the healthy things, that's your first of your 3 for me, is getting your foundational house in order, if you will. And then you can also look at other places. Maybe your second 3 for me is setting alarms, setting a schedule, looking at your calendar and kind of planning out the things that need to happen, setting a time that you work out. Maybe you realize, one of the foundational things is drinking water and moving your body. And you'll join me in committing to a timer on your watch or your phone to stand up once an hour, every hour for at least 5 minutes, and walk around and get some movement in. Maybe it's, like I said, committing to water or adding in 2 cups of veggies before 2 p.m. And no, they don't have to be raw veggies. That was just something that we were having fun. They can be cooked or raw. Or maybe it's, finding something fun to do after dinner. So we are going to take this part offline. This is where you get to ask your questions and share what's working for you. And we can pick those 3 for me and then encourage each other to do them throughout the week. And like I said, these are foundational things. So they're not really big. They should be something simple or smaller that will help you implement them into your life as a foundational movement that you then keep implementing. So I can't wait to see what you implement, and of course, how you feel, and you will get to see those results. You will see that bamboo shoot up in your life. So now we're going to have our conversation. I'll take it offline for privacy, and we will see you back again tonight at 8 p.m. So if you're new to Mighty Mommas, or you're just finding this video, we get together at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays with the same mini content, and then we just have a conversation. So if you can't make the morning, we got you covered at night. And also you may meet someone from a different part of the world, different part of the country, and you can benefit from tips and collaboration that way. So let's do this. Let's jump off and keep implementing and get our foundational beginnings set and go off to choose a little better every day. I'll see you later.